they have to pull out all the stops. If they want to stay in the upper bracket, this is their last chance. Coaches are on point. They're at the helm. Players are going to follow through with the plan. Here we go. Game number 5. The last one in this best of 5. There goes Rrq Hoshi going on the play, batting out the glue and the carry. Blacklist takes out the 1-1.
Remember in the previous game, RRQ switched sides,
Yep.
and that seems to be very beneficial for them. They will not have the same opportunity this time, so that might just be a big factor. All the way in the beginning, though, we do see a glue and a carry, as well as a 1-1 and a joy. One side wants to get rid of these prio annoying heroes, the other wants to get rid of all this mobility, all this dive potential.
So much is open right here, ladies and gents. RRQ, I think they want to take the Eve because it's their first pick. It's up to Blacklist International to ban it away. But at the same time, who do you ban away if you are RRQ?
Well, again, you can ban out the Eve and then first pick the Kaja.
True.
You can also try to leave open possibly the Fanny. I'm not sure if that's worth first picking in this situation. The Grok seemed to play a great role earlier, but no. They're going this certain direction. They're going to take out the Eve, and then they'll play with their box in their own way.
Yeah, I think Blacklist International doesn't want to see the Kaja right here. I think it's a no-brainer right now. Vin is super comfortable on this Kaja. If you notice, also fleeting time being built in earlier just now. That's hooks for days, but no, speaking about hooking, they take away the Franco instead. Kaja left open.
I mean, Franco is also a signature pick from Vin. I think last season in our own MPLID, he was able to show that he can completely take over a game if he's given someone with such utility. But the first pick is going to be that Kaja, man. RRQ understands. A big part of their success is how successful Vin was able to be able to pick off the members of Blacklist International. That suppression is very, very strong.
Yep, MVP from Game 4 was Vin on this Kaja. I mean, ride the momentum, ride the wave, take it all the way through the last game of the series. For Blacklist, though, what's left open? There's a lot on the board. There's the Farsa, there's the Benedetta, there's, what else? Well, Glue got banned out.
I think there's a lot. Like, I think it's right now. I think it's all about this first 2 picks. What is Blacklist International going to go for? That's the Benedetta going in. That's one checkbox marked. Are we seeing a Farsa going in as well? Do you want to prioritize it early? Okay,
Wow.
we're going to go in. Feels like the replay of Game 4.
Reiterate, that's the key. That's what they're doing here. And then they're going to learn. Again, best believe, the change up, the switch up might happen as soon as here, this 3rd pick for Blacklist, or in the 2nd phase during the banning. For RRQ, though, how do they close up their first phase?
I think they require a bit more damage, because now, even with the Divine Judgment, if you don't have any damage to follow up to try and secure that kill before the crowd control wears out, it's going to be a tough situation as well. I think they need to try and lean into that aggression. That is their signature style that we haven't seen in a long time, actually. And we've seen that even against Blacklist, it is a big problem. I think it works out.
Looks like the pick is going to be damage indeed, and they're not going to let Blacklist ban out the Ling. They're not going to wait. They are going to be the aggressors, the initiators. They pick up the Yuzhong and the Ling.
It's all about the positioning of Haji right there on that Farsa, right? Not Clay, R7 on that Yuzhong. It's definitely the Albert on that Ling. There's 2 items, or maybe not say 2 items, 2 utilities that they can use to kind of push away the feather airstrike. So right now, I think Blacklist International switching up the gears a little bit in terms of their execution. Let RRQ engage, we bite them back.
And it looks like the game plan for Bonchan here is to rely on their opponents, see how they're moving. But against Rrq Hoshi, it looks like it's the good old Ube. Because, again, they don't have to pull out something new. Instead of picking up the Estes in the slot, they go ahead and pick up the Quad for Oheb.
I mean, Coach Bonchan here being very irritating, right? Just not giving us the confirmation on what he plans on doing. And that is why it's so difficult, right? The elusive mind of Coach Bonchan has just been shown in today's game. We don't really know what he's up to, and yet somehow he finds success. And as you mentioned, with the Claude picked up right here, they have a chance to shift this draft into something more aggressive, or even tone it down and go for something a bit more reactive, right? Something that kites back better.
Yeah, so what's missing for Rrq Hoshi that Blacklist can clamp down on are mid laners or gold laners. And here's a hero that's both. They take out the Lunox.
I mean, you saw that for Blacklist. The fact that there was the Lunox can be so flexible and so safe is definitely something they do not want to have, because Haji relies on being able to go for those level 2 roams, those early game pickoffs to try and get the ball rolling. But quick bans right here, Fredrin as well as the Harith, they really know what they don't want to see.
They don't want this flexible picks coming in from the side of Rrq, right? Like, and another thing I also find interesting, Rrq Hoshi, once the ban from the Fredrin comes out, that's a little bit personal. Wise was able to use the Fredrin almost like 3 games in a row, and it works pretty well, and there you go, the Lolita gets taken out by Rrq Hoshi.
It's not even a choice of Barats anymore, right? They know that that's the only choice left, and I think Coach Arcadia, Coach Achel, they're accepting this, that hey, he might pick up the Barat, so just ban out one of Oh My Venus's best heroes, take out the Lolita. So now, what's Blacklist to do?
I think the Barats is a good idea here, but I got a feeling that there may be a Diggy coming out. A Diggy time journey would be very good because, first of all, you allow the Barats to basically use the Daytona's Welcome to swallow someone up, and then after that, you also deny the CC coming out from the Farsa so that she can stay in the Feather Asteroid just a little bit longer.
Well, point is, I think for Rrq, they need some kind of DPS. There's no way they intend to take down a late game Barrage with a Ling and a Yuzong, right?
Yeah,
That's
not
a bit of a tough endeavor. So some kind of DPS, either physical or magical, needs to be secured here. Otherwise, they're prone to just falling into the same issue, right? Having a thick front line for Blacklist, and they kind of penetrate. Oh,
okay.
That's the Kadita, man.
That's the Shred, and that's the Kadita, and that is Estes once again for the side. Oh my Venus. Blacklist banning away the Lunox makes sense right now. And Rrq, I feel like this is a good draft against Blacklist as well.
Yep, again, expect that Aegis on Oh My Venus to pop within the first 30 seconds. Because again, Rrq has to be super aggressive. And then from there, we'll see how much the gears have turned for Coach Bonchan and if they can change their fate, because Rrq Hoshi are riding on momentum.
I've seen that Blacklist can struggle against 2 pick-off dive heroes, but now with potentially 3 heroes, right, that can be used to engage the fight, is that going to be even more dangerous for Blacklist, or is it just too much from Rrq and they end up lacking something else in their composition?
Arashi, Bak Maslimta, listen, it's actually 4, right? You count the Kaja too.
You're right.
So Kaja, Ling, Yudong, and Kadira. So Blacklist, when it comes to engagement, they're in trouble.
Yep, everybody can die, but ladies and gentlemen, on to the land of Dawn we go.
Game 5 here in this best of 5 of the upper bracket. We'll throw it over to our Bahasa counterparts. But for y'all watching all over the world, welcome. This is Rrq Hoshi versus Blacklist International. The last game in this, to be honest, grand finals worthy series.
And off the bat, you already see adjustments being made. Blacklist understands the danger, and they have 2 Purifies on their main carries on top of the Aegis. Already a very good solution. Will that be enough, though, knowing that there are 4 sources of crowd control from Rrq?
Another thing that I was like, Hibin may have taken a lot of damage, but here comes Clay at the same time. Not enough damage from the side of Rrq to kind of shut down the push. Blacklist International once again, oh my goodness, popping the Aegis way too early.
Now, talking about stats, right? Barats is the highest win rate with 100% in 5 games. So Blacklist has this major stat riding off of this game.
I mean, it's a very strong hero in the right situations. And right now, it does seem like later on, when it comes to that macro gameplay as well, they're going to be able to clear waves very fast with this composition. So I think Blacklist is onto something right here. It's on the shoulders of Rrq to try and surprise them yet again. But at this point, you have to wonder, have they done too much already?
Edward dashing all the way out just into safety right here. Albert will get scouted out by Oh My Venus right here. 30 seconds on the clock. It's a race to level 4.
Down bottom, you see that Wise has given Skylar a little visit, helping out Oheb. And again, this is an Avarice Claude. So every bit of basic attacks that Claude can get on anybody, actually, will help Oheb propel straight into that first 2 core items.
Well, we're still in the early game, and we can talk about the picks. We have to note that Clay can play a lot of aggressive heroes, but he is more well-known for playing the mages. You have to wonder if that becomes a factor as the turtle is spawning, and it looks like the play is being initiated by Rrq, but Blacklist ain't so far behind, trying to contest the control.
Contesting the control is the name of the game right here, but Clay does have the level 4 as well. It's going to be suppressed. Wise getting denied. by the ultimate. Wise will also lose the turtle for now. It's going to be R7 bringing back. We're also looking for the break on the Blacklist International. At the same time, Wise will be the first to fall. It's going to be Vin. It's actually Vin just waiting for Edward. Edward desperately trying to run away. Haji doesn't have the better airstrike. Can only use it now.
Oh, that was just off timing for Blacklist. All of the tools that Rrq needed just fell on their lap, and they capitalized on a good situation, turned it great. Took the turtle, took some kills along the way.
That was a bold move by Blacklist International, trying to contest such an early fight against such a dangerous composition coming in from Rrq.
Now, looking at the bottom lane, the island of the gold laners, at least in that disaster of an engagement for Blacklist, Oheb, you can still rely on him. You can still at least expect for him to do something, right? But when is that going to happen? How can you expect him to do that without the assistance of Haji, without the assistance of Oh My Venus? Because, again, with Albert skyrocketing into the lead this early, 3 minutes in, even Oheb, I feel like might not be too safe.
This is the dangerous part for Blacklist right now. All three lanes, essentially, are in favor of Rrq. They have more lane control, lane pressure, but Vin is getting jumped on.
Fedez are going in the same time. Vin looking a bit low. Oheb will be the one that finishes the job. It's going to be one kill given over to the side of Blacklist. Oh My Venus right here, just healing up Haji, and they're back to fighting shape again.
The road to recovery starts now. What do the items look like here for Blacklist?
Blacklist. Oheb landing down the damage, but will not be able to be enough. But that could be the precursor. And here comes the actual main damage. And here comes the main party. The flicker will be used, but Skyway will be able to get on the south. But Blacklist, they're wasting a lot of time in the bottom lane.
Gotta be maximum range, right? Tactical repositioning plus the flicker. That's gotta go on TikTok someday.
That was smooth coming in from Skylar. He just slides out of that very dangerous situation. But right now, you can see that Clay is struggling, man. He wants to get these pickups, but with the Purifies, it's just a bit too difficult. They need to time this. They have to count the cooldown and ensure that they go in for the right target once the Purifies are down.
This Feather Airstrike is a little bit too early, right, guys?
Yeah, it's suspect, and it's going to allow Rrq Hoshi to time it up. But this might be because they see that Albert is still going for his purple, and this allows Wise to do the same for his orange, and then they reset. So far, this is good because Blacklist, they didn't expect Rrq Hoshi to pull so far. Low turtle resets.
So resets, but look at the Blade of Despair being built by Skylar on that Beatrix. That's going to be a lot of 1v1 kill potential, but Haji has the Clock of Destiny already scaling towards that mid-game. And look at that.
Here comes the Divine Judgment. Wise will not be able to retrieve the turtle. Another turtle given over the side of Rrq once again. It is R7 going to declare dragon form, and that's just the problem that Blacklist International couldn't solve.
Just as quickly, I could have sworn the Barats would have survived, but no.
Oh no.
They have lethal intent. Oheb is in trouble.
BMI already pulled out. Vin doesn't really have the Divine Judgment for now. That could be a side reliever. Clay doesn't have the ultimate, so that is still A-okay. But this time around, they may have actually obviously extended just a little bit too much. The better airstrike zoning out the members of our Rrq as well. Blacklist International. The big problem right now is that Kaja ultimate.
It's just so difficult. There's a lot of sources of crowd control, and they can deal with that with the Purify. But if R7 or Albert just jumps on you, that's damage, not crowd control. You have to worry about.
Wesker shot. Skylar walks away with one dot.
Oh, that's again, it's just unfortunate for Blacklist that their attempts at picking off, at countering the aggression of Rrq has not been paying off. And I don't know if it's bad luck or you can call it a good skill coming in, because Rrq are doing very well avoiding these tough situations, even though they do not have the defensive battle spell.
At the world stage, there's no room for luck, all right? Maybe a little, but it's more of because Rrq Hoshi are feeling it. They won game 4, they have momentum on their side, and they have a relatively significant
going in. Oh my goodness, just right in time. The ambulance right now, it's all about Vin, whether he can catch the right targets.
Oof. Man, Din Hunter Sword has been completed for Oheb. He has a steel leg plates as well, so for now, he has some measure of defense against the physical damage, but that's only until Albert scales and gets his hands on him. At that point, the escape is going to be very difficult, and the fact that Skylar is on that Beatrix means that Rrq can slowly but surely siege down these turrets.
How safely and how just cleanly Rrq Hoshi pressured that bottom lane, and that's permanent damage. Oheb now can't farm us safely down there, and all the more, this opens up this last turtle for Rrq Hoshi. It's 100% turtles for the King of Kings.
Problem is, Vin does have the ultimate as well. Wise needs to step on. He needs to try to eat that ultimate. There you go, Vin. Once again, Wise, Vin does not shy, but Wise will be able to heal up just in time. He's trying to look for the victor, but Retribution, Blacklist International take away the turtle, and this could be the turnaround for Blacklist.
R7 barely gets away with his life, but who'd have thought that Blacklist would have taken that turtle?
Yeah.
The mechanics, at least now, Wise is more confident that, hey, after a DJ, I'm okay.
Yeah, the biggest problem right here is that Blacklist International, hold on a second, slowing going on. Nothing's going to happen for now, but let me continue my point. Wise needs to eat the ultimate of Vin. No one else on the side of Blacklist could do anything at all.
I think earlier, Wise was actually dragged by the Divine Judgment.
Yes,
but
correct.
Unfortunately, the Breath of the Ocean from Clay does not land. And now, with Wise having the Radiant Armor, he is going to be a bit tanky until Clay has a bit more penetration to nuke him down. Might be the mid-game that Blacklist is looking for.
Yep, 8 minutes in, they shrank that gold lead. Approaching 3 now, it's just barely 1. Oh, have jumps in.
Letting duet doesn't really stick. But there you go, Blacklist International managed to clear up the topside wave. What is going on around the map? It is the Fed airstrike going in. The Wesker shot will not be able to connect. It's a little bit too far. Blacklist International takes up topside.
That's clean zoning from Haji right here, knowing that he has a lot of damage in his arsenal. The Lightning Truncheon is not complete just yet, but even then, that needs to be respected by Skylar. He has the Wind of Nature at this point. But, you know, there's still that magic damage threat coming in from Oh My Venus and Haji. That is the main thing he has to be aware of in these big fights.
And now, again, with the past minute or so being all about regaining real estate for Blacks International, they can find better engages. This 1,000 gold for Rrq Hoshi, yes, it's significant, yes, it means something, but Blacklist can put up a better fight because, again, of the aforementioned pull.
I don't know whether this is a good idea coming up from Ben, but it's going to be Wise. Get a knock on the door, but he's getting healed by Oh My Venus, and then all of a sudden RQ, that's lost, they're wrong. R7 a little bit too low, Clay coming in, trying to put some damage, but Blacklist International, big one person.
They threw no caution to the wind, and it resulted in Vin being taken down. Blacklist obliges, making a beeline straight for the Lord, and watch that green dot. Dennis Welcome still online.
They waste no time at all, man. RRQ, they might try and contest here, but might be too difficult. Unfortunately, Blacklist will be able to secure that Lord, and RRQ, they just overestimate their damage, despite the Wise just building full tank. They need to understand at what point is their damage adequate to try and pick off, especially the bigger members, especially with Oh My Venus on the sides.
I feel like Blacklist call right here. Wise is the carrot. Vin hooks the carrot, but this carrot is a little bit too big for RRQ's mouth, and they got hurt. Their jaw dislocated, and this is exactly what happened. It worked for the first 2 times, but the 4th time, it doesn't work anymore.
Looking at the items here, 10 minutes in, Arashi, talk to us.
Exactly. I mean, right now, the Blade Armor has been completed for Wise as well. He is getting tankier and tankier. And so far, if you look at the items from RRQ, penetration is not in sight just yet. This might be a mistake, but here we go. Blacklist just sieging, taking away structures with the help of the Lord.
Zoning away. That's the name of the game from the side of Blacklist International. But hold on a second, it's a 1v1. Petrified going in for the side of Albert will be duking it off. The Tempest of Blade going in. It's gonna be a fight. And then in return, it is a trade.
And all that time that Agent Zero bought for Blacklist, Rrq Hoshi are now reeling. They're looking at a map that's red, wondering where it all went wrong, because Blacklist has the 1K gold lead.
Oh no, Vin, take a moment, but he misses that now. Here comes the punishment coming up from Blacklist International. Ben Astrike will be able to zone RRQ away. Blacklist International is stabilized for now.
Oh, they're going to steal this purple away from Albert, who hasn't even respawned yet. We're looking at a Lord in a minute and a half. Arashi, what's going on? What can we expect in the next minute and a half? Because this Lord, this next one is going to be significant.
We can expect RRQ to try and get a kickoff yet again, but of course, Blacklist, they adapt. You cannot expect the same thing to work again and again, and right now, they have the solutions. A strong front line, they can tank most of the damage, sustain to back them up, and even if you want to go for the squishier members, like we mentioned, the Purify is there. So I think RRQ, they have to try and ration their crowd control. They cannot use it all at the same time, because if they do that, then it's easier for Blacklist to identify when they need to commit most of their resources. If they can spread it out a bit more, it's going to be a lot more difficult, and it goes back to that dirty, that messy fight that RRQ usually finds success in.
2 big questions, Leo. Has Haji and Noah have used the Purify? Second question, why isn't Ben catching Oh My Venus?
feel like, again, he was trying to do that with the flicker. Unfortunately, he was just barely out of range. Maybe the pressure is getting to him. You never know. But Albert, once again, is going on a duel with Agent Zero. They traded 1-for-1 earlier, but man, it's still beneficial for Edward in this situation because Albert is level 15.
Arashi tried to answer it, but I was going to say, Jays, I don't have the answer. Blacklist does. At this point, they're in the driver's seat. They're camping here in this river bush, and I'm not sure if Rrq knows.
Man, Rrq does have the map control, brush control, in fact. But it needs to be an ultimate coming up from R7. You need to sacrifice that. It's going to be Albert missing that purple buff once again. It's going to be a replay of game number 3.
Oh, this Ling is thirsty. This Ling is hungry. He needs that purple. He needs that perp.
It's unreal, man. Wise is able to steal so many resources, so many purples, but now this is an exciting moment. If Rrq can flank around, this might be the opportunity they're looking for, but otherwise, Blacklist has a chance to completely use this neutral objective and force Rrq into an unfavorable fight.
Oh my god.
Do they know? Do they know? All right, that's it. They revealed it. That's it. Yeah, Rrq Hoshi. So they're just trying their best to get a reset here. But can they find it? Lord, less than half health. Oh, here comes Vin. Conceal.
Vin as well. It's going to be the for this welcome. Will not be able to connect. Clay goes into Petrify, but it's going to be knock up coming up. It's Rrq. The damage coming up. Rrq doesn't really click. It's going to be Albert. Not in the way. And Wise pick up Clay. And Albert still standing in the backside. But oh my goodness, walks on in. He reveals the assassin. Skylar comes in. Nibiru doesn't make anything at all. It's going to be oh my goodness, desperately trying to heal Wise. But Blacklist International, they traded for Clay.
The MPLID Grand Finals MVP fell, and for no reason at all.
It was and it's going to be the suppression on top of that one. The punishment. Albert coming in for the re-engage, but Albert trying to look for something over here, but the OM is creating so much problem. And there's the wind of nature activate at the same time. Albert going in, trying to play with the blades, but he gets zoned out by the members of Blacklist International.
Oh, they baited out so much, but they instead traded out, and it's going to cost them. But at least Blacklist walks away with the Lord Skylar. Skylar had lethal and malicious intentions, but Blacklist says no. 2K ahead, Luminous Lord on their side. What does this mean for Rrq Hoshi?
It means that they're stuck on the defensive and they cannot go for those big flanks. I was about to say that Blacklist are just so patient. They play that fight so slow, and Rrq just weren't able to adjust. But afterwards, Rrq were able to actually get something in exchange for that Lord. That's a small victory, but as you mentioned, having the Lord on top of a very solid front-to-back composition means that now you can force Rrq to go to locations that you want them to be, instead of Rrq being elusive, hiding in the bushes, surprising them with side flanks.
Yeah, now it's come to the point wherein even bush control isn't as important because you still have to think about those purifies. Now, Chase, Haji has his off of cooldown. Venus has an Aegis. Oheb is waiting about 15 seconds from here. So this Lord push might actually be lethal. They could take an inhibitor, or better yet, they might even threaten a finish.
Rrq does have 2 Petrifies left. It's all about Rrq, how they play this out. And the Ezra will be able to zoning out. That's the Lord defended by Rrq. Blacklist International focus on the mid lane instead. Nibiru's passion, wave clearing, that's all what Rrq can do for now. Locked in base.
Luckily, Clay has solid wave clear. And again, you're still looking at Skylar, despite the nerfs on Beatrix in the recent patch, they're doing okay. Arashi, what does the items look like? Oh, because Agent Zero.
Oh my goodness, Vin misses the flicker ultimate, allows Edward to slip on the way.
That is very unfortunate. At this point in time, that flicker is a very valuable tool, and Blacklist know that, tries to go for a big play, and the other problem here is Albert, but he's alone right now.
He's alone right here, Edward. Oh, well, Ben needs to get on the way. There's a big dinosaur coming for your body as well, but it's going to be Blacklist International, manages zone out the members from the side of Rrq. Bottom lane is already gone.
Luckily, his body was ready. Baby Alien knows exactly what's going on, and he did not have to fall. I believe it's come to the point wherein Rrq knows they're playing with fire, knows that they have bombs in their fists and they're waiting to land that big haymaker. Question is, how do they find that angle?
It's such a difficult situation because Blacklist have all their attention focused onto Vin, and it seems like Rrq, they're only relying on Vin to be the first initiate, whereas they actually have a lot of other tools they can use. They can go with Clay on the Kadira, they can go with R7 with a big flank and Petrify, but they're just not exploring that option, and it's making them seem just a bit too one-dimensional. And against a team like Blacklist, that just means that you are going to be so I don't know, readable, so obvious, and you can see that several times here, Vin has flickered twice and has not landed a pickoff.
Something tells me that's more a matter of conservation. The fact that Clay and R7 aren't being used as much to try to get a kill and get vision is because they're saving them, right? They're saving them, but so far, not like this. This is a defensive Black Dragon form.
Defensive Black Dragon form. Haji activated the Feather Airstrike already right off early. The Blacklist International know that Albert's all the way up top. Edward has full vision right here, but Blacklist International is slowly collapsing once again. A purple buff gets denied away by Blacklist International.
Oh no, the baby alien's not gonna get his num-nums. This is a hard engage. This is tough. When you're playing a Ling this way, I mean, I've heard this from stories. I don't play Ling myself, but when it's like this and your opponents are just denying you your buff, it's miserable.
Yep. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Blacklist International setting up for this Lord dance. It's about who has Lord Pit control.
Easy for now. It's going to be Blacklist, and they're bursting down the Lord really fast. Vin makes the play.
Vin doesn't connect onto anything right now. I'm going into Blaze into it. It's going to be all my Venus healing members of Blacklist International all the way to the top 4. Oheb will be punishing Vin.
A Lord that's evolved plus Vin. The M-Series All-Timer has been overloaded. Yes, he had momentum. Yes, he got MVP Game 4. But not against a lineup like this. Not against Blacklist, who has figured out exactly what's going on.
Rrq need to adapt, man. They have to try and do things differently. Blacklist has a read on how they want to operate. And now with 15 seconds left on Vin, the Lord is coming in. And high ground favors Blacklist International. Feather Airstrike has been used.
Oh my god, this is a very tough airstrike to defend for. Alvin forced to use the Temple of the Blades just to get on there. Here comes the Bandit Rage to try to clear off the members of the side of Blacklist International. Even commenting the Navy expansion as well. The Lord will get chonged down. But Blacklist International, they do a lot of damage. They crack open the mid lane. That's permanent damage.
That is a main artery taken away from Rrq Hoshi. Albert will not be able to explore the map as freely as he once has in this 19-minute bout. Now top lane inhibitor is going to be next up on the docket.
Here we go. Oheb petrified, but he's going to get purified. The counter battle spell. Here we go. R7 all the way in the back line trying to look over. Oh my goodness, desperately trying to heal. But look at where Albert's going. He's looking for the angle, but will not be able to commit. Blacklist International, they stay a long time.
There you go. If R7 can go in like that, you can see the cooldown on the purifiers for Haji and Oheb are nearly identical because they have to use it at the same time. They are trying to group together for the blessings of the Moon Goddess, and that is something that Rrq can take advantage of, but they need to just plan it out really, really well. And without that vision, without the control, it's just so difficult right now. And Albert has full inventory slots at this point, so he won't be scaling any longer. At this point, it's all about how fast Blacklist can catch up to the 5k gold, can use that 5k gold lead, because Rrq soon, both teams are going to be full inventory slots.
Yep, we're about a minute away from this Lord. And again, this is a Lord that scales every minute from now on, 20. Plus, the fact that we are looking at TikTok timers. When someone falls, best believe that is lethal. If a member of yours gets picked off, again, like Vin from the past 15, 18 minutes of this game, then no one comes back from that. So Rrq Hoshi has to be extra careful.
Concealed play. No flicker committed by Vin, that's good. But this is where Rrq has realized that R7 needs to face check every single rush. The best part about Oh My Venus on this Estes, right? Your second skill allow for that vision, right? So that you don't really need to commit. You saw it already being used in the I think it was the second or first Lord Dance, right? And it's really come to really good success.
Now, we're about 15 seconds away from this Lord. You see Blacks International playing for purple buff domination. Bombs away from Skylar. And this could be Albert's last chance. Oh, he's so hungry. He wants it. Can he get it?
The question is, but looking how Rrq members come out, the Petrify coming up from will be there, but purple buff will still be successfully secured by
Oheb, I think.
Oheb.
Yeah, as long as it's not on Albert, Blacklist is happy. No num-nums for the baby alien. It's so hard to play Ling this way. I can't stress that enough.
Yep.
Now Haji has a Holy Crystal. That's a lot of damage. One bolt from the Feather Airstrike is able to chunk Skylar down to lower than half HP. But look at that snipe coming in. Unfortunately, with an Estes in the composition, Blacklist will be having no issues at all. But look at that play.
Oh, that is the suppression. The Vin needs to try to play with the Dragon going in. Here comes the Blade into it. No fear for the Vengeance as well, as BMI will be allowing OM to time out. Albert will be able to pick up Haji for the time being. It's now up to the Dragon to pull down the damage to punish Blacklist International. Albert will be able to get out with a single down mix of health. Right now, Blacklist International have been about that. Needs to run away. A scrappy fight from but Blacklist International will be the one that got punished.
3 for 3, Clay and Skylar versus Oheb and Edward. This is as scrappy as it gets. Rrq Hoshi pulls out one from deep within. The Sang Raja still in this battle.
It looks so good for them, and then it looks awful, and then it looks so good again, and at the end of everything, it's a 3-4-3 equal trade. But of course, let's take a look at that instant replay by TikTok. Look at that. Initially, the Purifies has been used, and this is the opportunity. Look at Skylar just free hitting in the back. Unfortunately, he's unable to secure that kill, and Albert, he was stuck on the wall here trying to just kite away from damage, and Edward is able to cut him down, and now Blacklist once again are the ones pressuring for this Lord. They have mobility advantage.
Right now, the Lord dance, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what Blacklist is really good at. Right, RQ right now, they have to try to figure this out. Clay got chunked down all the way, got the HP, and now Blacklist all of a sudden they do have the Lord. It is all up to how Rrq plays with it. Albert is that lane, could be able to fly all the way to the Lord pit very quickly, but I think Rrq that lost the topside turret for now is going to be a rush, a mad rush to the Lord. Albert on the wall right here, they need to try to do something to defend. Drenching the Albert!
Execution for Rrq Hoshi, but at the cost of Vin. Now it's a 4v5. Blacks International marching down mid lane.
It is going to be a replay of the previous game, number 3, once again. Even though Rrq was able to take down the Lord right now, it's going to be Blacklist International. They do have a lot of control. They do have damage for Daytona. Welcoming R7 right into the top of the barrage, and now he will be punished. It is Bleuz right now. It's going to get out of there. Oh my goodness, killing the members from the side of Blacklist International. 3v5 happening in the side of Rrq.
The relentless one has the favor turned
on
him.
They need to do it.
Take him down.
They need to do something as Blacklist International. They stay in the upper brackets.
Tennis indoor Sinayan can't believe it. Neither could we. But Blacklist International send the Sang Raja down into the lower bracket.
A somber day in Tennis Indoor Sinayan. The audience is definitely disappointed. But of course, there is a victor and there is a loser in these tournaments. And unfortunately for Rrq, today, Blacklist International is the better team. Congratulations for moving on to the upper bracket.
The M3 World Champions feel it. The agents in the stadium are the same. And boy, if you watch the last 5 minutes, you saw exactly how well Rrq Hoshi found their window. And even that Lord take by Baby Alien, by Albert, that was immaculate. But at the end of the day, messy as it was, Blacklist knew the way around the woods.
It's just so crazy, right, ladies and gents? Rrq, this is not over for them. You better be sure they will come back with a vengeance. Blacklist International sending them down to the lower brackets. Not a good storyline for Rrq Hoshi.
They will be bowing down to the Queens for now. We'll have to see, of course, Rrq improving so rapidly in such a short period of time. We can definitely expect them to come back even stronger from this defeat. But for now, we have to let Blacklist International have their moment.
That's right. King Wise and Queen V reign supreme tonight, along with the MV3. Let's give it up for tonight's winners. Staying in the upper bracket, it's Blacklist International.
Give us a good game. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're on upper brackets, it's a best of 5. There's not a sprint, it is a marathon. Best be sure, more games for both of these two teams.
There is a saying, if you're gonna go for the king, make sure you strike to kill. But for now, on behalf of Jays and Arashi, at your service, as always, my name is Leo. We're throwing it over to our analysts to break down Game 5.
Ladies and gentlemen.